What do you get when you combine Hunger Games with Ready Player One and The Truman Show, but set it during the apocalypse? Well, you get this. Hey guys, I'm Hayden Murphy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is the first book in a 7-book series as of right now. There will be 8 by May of 2026, but they are a very popular book series written by Matt Dinniman, whose online username I imagine to be Matt Dinniman the Cinnamon. Dinniman the Cinnamon. After reading this book, I think that would be apt for him. I think Matt Dinniman would agree and be acceptful of that username as well. So before I begin giving this review, I have to give a little bit of a backstory as to why I chose to read this book. This book is not what I normally read. I love sci-fi and fantasy, but I was not expecting to have ever picked up a book like this, because apparently this book is part of a genre called lit RPG. And I gotta tell you, it's pretty lit.
It's lit!
I read this book in a single day, and I don't normally do that with books. I usually like to take my time, but the pace of this book was just so quick, and constantly something happening. It was relentless, and it got me hooked into it. So again, back to the lit RPG, this book is essentially a video game in book format, okay? Now, that being said, of course, it goes without being said, this book is not Shakespeare, okay?
To eat or not to eat? That is the question.
But it is very, very entertaining. I found myself constantly wanting to keep going and seeing what's going to happen, because the premise of how he set this book up and how it keeps going forward is you never know what's going to happen. It's so random. It's every corner you turn, you don't know what the characters are going to encounter, okay? In a book that had anything ranging from talking cats to drug-dealing llamas to goblins or ogres or whatever named after the Gilmore Girls.
Rory's life, mine.
Anything you can think that might have happened in this book, it probably will at some point. That's what keeps you going, because you don't know what's going to happen. It's so random, and it just is zany and crazy. It's wild. Let me back it up a little bit. So, the book starts off with Carl trying to capture his cat after she has rudely jumped out the window into a tree at like 2 in the morning or something like that. Luckily, because of this, he is able to survive, because at that exact moment, every single structure on planet Earth has been flattened by an alien race that has turned every structure on Earth into a game show called the Dungeon Crawler World. And a voice pops up and says, hey, you can either try to survive on what's left of Earth, or you can get into this little tunnel and join our little show and game. So Carl, who's literally in his boxers, decides to go and join this game. What happens afterward is just chaos.
In a word, chaos.
The type of book this is not going to appeal to everyone, okay? If you're looking for, deep, thought-provoking character moments, while there are some great character moments, it's not going to be found here. This is going to be for people who want something quick and light and can just be entertained. They're not looking for any thought-provoking literature or anything.
It really makes you think.
While there's not that much thought-provoking material in here, there's some pretty decent character moments going into the Carl's past. They're scattered here and there. But one thing in particular, he has a little motto, he says, that kind of keeps him going throughout the story. And it really resonated with me. Anytime he's experiencing something terrible or just challenging, he just keeps telling himself, "You will not break me." Coincidentally, that's exactly what I say when I'm on the toilet after eating a whole bunch of Taco Bell. There is a little bit of social commentary going on, similar to like Hunger Games, like I said earlier, that, the idea of putting something on a reality show, as much as I don't watch too much reality show, but when I do watch it, I'm hooked. I love it. Something like The Traitors. You watch the show and you're like, this is amazing, but it's at what expense are you watching these shows at for people to backstab and lie and betray each other, all for our entertainment? This touches on our need to be entertained, and it touches on what lengths we're willing to go to that. And essentially, these people are in a game, kind of like I said, Hunger Games style, but it also merges with Ready Player One in a way because it's a video game style. They're having achievements, they're getting upgrades, they're doing all these things. And it touches on a little bit of social commentaries. For instance, they'll go on some interviews, and one of them in particular, I felt reminiscent of like an Andrew Tate kind of figure, where it's kind of just hinting on the society at large and how we behave and on the internet and online culture, and just how some people might look up to internet figures that someone like Andrew Tate, who people think, the young boys think he's this awesome, cool, great guy, and really he's just a piece of crap. But the book's main purpose, again, is not social commentary. The main purpose is for pure entertainment. You're there to just have a good time, and you do have a good time. One of the cons for me is the humor. A lot of people might like the humor. It's kind of reminiscent of Deadpool humor.
Oh, hello.
Again, I'm not a big fan of it, so a lot of the humor I just kind of skipped over. But that could be the very thing that people love about it the most, if that's kind of your style of humor. But it could also be the very thing that turns people away from it, because some of the humor can get kind of raunchy. I had a few chuckles with some of the humor, don't get me wrong. There was one about Steve Irwin in particular that I thought was pretty funny.
Flies are coming into my eyes for a drink.
But, I just... It's not for me 100%. I would say more so than the humor, what kept me going was these little bit of nuggets that gets dropped pertaining to who is running the game, okay? So it's kind of like the man behind the curtain thing. Who is putting the game on, and what are the politics behind it? Why are they putting this game on in the way it's being done? How does it get thrown together? What's the systems at play behind the scenes? That's the stuff that kept me going, that I needed to know more. So, for instance, there's a character in particular, I won't spoil it for you. It gets revealed that this character might be more important than maybe is led on. And when that happens, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to know what's going on with this character. It's crazy. And it was stuff like that that just kept me going at it over and over again, to the point where by the time the book ends, there's a little extra like bonus chapter called Pineapple at the Cabaret, or Behind the Scenes of the Pineapple Cabaret, Cabaret Pineapple. I'm not even sure. Something pineapple.
Want to split a pineapple?
Apparently, you can only get this in the physical copy, and that's why I recommend, again, you get the physical copy, because not only do you get those great sniff smells,
What a weirdo.
but you also get the bonus book at the end with the Pineapple Cabaret. The reason why, apparently the digital books don't have these, and I finished the book, it was great, because, that was entertaining, that was a fun little book, but when I finished the Pineapple the Cabaret, it revealed something behind the scenes that once I finished reading, I said, oh my gosh, I've got to know more. I closed the book, I got up, walked into the living room, and told my wife, you need to order me the next 2 books in the series. And as you can tell behind me, I've already bought the rest of the series, and I'm going to read all of them. Specifically because I want to know what is going on behind the scenes. That's the primary motivator for me to finish the series, and that outweighs any of the cons of the book. One more thing I'll throw in there for good measure. The foreshadowing of future levels in this book is very fascinating because the characters will potentially equip something, accomplish something, get a new skill or achievement, and it's foreshadowing what might happen in future levels that you're like, oh gosh, what's going to happen when they get to that level? This is apparently supposedly going to be an 18-level dungeon. So, each book you're going to go to further down into the dungeon and get closer to potentially, hopefully, the end of the game. What I want to see more of in this book is, again, that behind-the-scenes stuff. I hope that the next book tones down the humor just a little bit because, again, it's just not for me. That being said, I think this book is very accessible to new readers. If you don't like to read, if you've haven't picked up a book in ages, more specifically, if you're a video gamer, okay, I know a lot of video gamers liked Ready Player One. This book, I think, will be more entertaining for you than even Ready Player One. It's just so much more like a video game. I was half expecting to just sync up my Xbox controller to the book.
And this is an Xbox.
So that's my review for Dungeon Crawler Carl. I will hopefully get all the rest of the books read and reviewed before May when the 8th one comes out. If you don't mind doing me a favor, subscribe. If you have read Dungeon Crawler Carl, please comment on the video. Let me know what your thoughts were of it. I want to have that dialogue back and forth with you guys. Or just let me know if you plan on reading it, and then you can come back to the video and share your thoughts later. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about it. And so I am excited to see what's going to happen in the future books. So please, no spoilers for that. But other than that, like I said, subscribe, comment, like, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you. Bye.